This entire video is completely backwards, but it's for a good reason. Whenever I see Warzone stuff on YouTube, it's just the stuff that goes well. It's all of the games where they did crazy plays or got the crazy kill streak they wanted or world record or the nuke, and it's never the hard work that leads up to that. And for those of you who have been watching my daily live streams here on YouTube, I've been playing with all sorts of players, from content creators to pros, to try and get as many nukes as possible in Warzone 2. And my comment section regularly reminds me that because I have 6 nukes, nearly 7, that I must be some sort of cheater, when in reality it's just really hard to do. And you guys at home only ever see the successful videos or the clips posted online and not the full story of just how catastrophically wrong things can go. So I wanted to do this video completely backwards today. This is from a nuke run where we failed time and time again and didn't even get 5 wins in a row to secure the contracts that were necessary. I'm going to start by showing you guys how we ended up losing the game, and then show you the decisions that we made that either put us in a good position or completely ruined our chances of winning. Stopping the game bit by bit to show you where things went right and where things went catastrophically wrong. And hopefully this will show you things that can make or break your game, even from the perspective of high caliber players. So if you find this video interesting or you enjoy it, drop a like and let's dive on in.
I'd like to get down on the CDL lad in the middle here.
Yeah, either the guy in the middle or the three on one of the 3 on the right.
Petrol station.
CDL's going for the peak. CDL's going for a peak.
Girl.
Have we got airstrikes? Because we could just airstrike CDL.
I won.
What, in the middle? I think we shot the guys on the right now.
Well, yeah, I suppose. They're out as well, though.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're gonna have to push that roof, aren't we? I'm gonna air shot the guy in the middle. Oh, wait, let me air shot.
Just pull back.
Where are we pushing, boys? We're taking left roof.
Yeah, this roof, this roof.
You don't eat.
Brad's not gonna make it. Or I'm not going to. They're gonna get one of us. The fact they didn't get one of us is a goddamn surprise.
What's it?
Sakes, bro. But yeah, I'm going into the zone. You should be safe.
Got me. Got me.
He had an angle over there.
In the stairs. God damn it, dude.
Near the roof of that.
There's guys below you. Jeff, I'd just play up top here. Oh.
Try to, bro.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Orion, you could go for late gas play, wait for all of them to move, go prone, because they can see you, Go late gas play, go around the back of them and hit the buy.
Okay.
Oh, that could happen.
Now this first clip is a good example of why being indecisive can sometimes lead to your demise. Here the zone pulls away from us, putting us at a major disadvantage to 2 separate teams who are already in the zone. And we make 2 critical errors. To start with, nobody uses any of their assets or utilities to take out the team on the right, which is sitting on top of the archway. And we even burned an airstrike prior to this, making this problem even worse. And 2, there isn't really any real direction at the end of this. We were all just fumbling around with ideas, and then one of us eventually jumped to the left building, and you can see the kind of delay and indecisiveness here that ended up putting us in a worse position than we should have been in. In reality, we should have chosen a position, chosen a rooftop, and all committed to it together, but what actually happened was this weird spread between a building that ultimately led us to lose. The intelligent thing to do here ultimately would have been to use our assets correctly on the team on the archway, because this team on the archway didn't have the necessary cover in order to survive. They were very exposed, and a single airstrike or cluster strike would have put them at a numbers disadvantage and meant that we could have cleaned up the squad. The indecisiveness that led us to committing to the building was actually a bad play, because not only did they have the advantage of being inside, but if we were to take the rooftop, we'd be at the mercy of the team on the archway. And although this is all just simply hindsight, the reality is that we had a huge opportunity to win this game, and we squandered it because we were unwilling to commit to one or the other, and unwilling to fight the team on the archway.
Got 3 players.
They're coming over. They're coming over.
Yeah,
Orion, you need to back to us quickly.
I don't know, there's only like one way out of this building. I'm trying to get to it.
They're gonna go through your building.
Yeah, they were in the
I'm
doorway.
confident of.
Get airstriked.
All right, get ready to play some Rainbow Six, boys.
Interesting.
I've put more to
Downstairs
this.
now.
Up the stairs now.
That's a full team of 4.
Yep. Ah, I got one down. Dead.
They're sticking their res as well.
Ah, lucky.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
Hard to regain in a lobby like that.
Yeah.
This example shows how a couple of small compound decisions can end up equaling a really bad run of gameplay. We lost this game, but there were a number of decisions that we made that were just bad ideas at the start of the game, which meant that we lost the flow of gameplay, had to start chasing our tails, and things just go horribly wrong. To start with, we end up pushing for a stronghold even though an enemy team is already on it. They obviously end up popping the UAV and they get their loadout weapons and we're at a huge disadvantage. And we do this even though we can afford to buy our own guns, thinking that we need the perks, so on and so forth. So we end up in a situation where most of us are dead or having to come back from the gulag, and then we have to start chasing for a loadout drop instead of being in the flow of gameplay, taking a position, going from position to position, and we just end up on the back foot for the whole game. Now, as a result of going for our loadout drops and trying to buy people back, including myself, we end up in a very edge of the map location, which is super suboptimal. We end up separating a little bit. Sprat's a bit further away from Orion and Jaff. I'm still parachuting back in. And Jaff and Orion end up in a 2v4 circumstance, so we lose even more players. From that, we try to regain some more, and we try to start getting into positions or logical locations, but we're losing men, we're losing numbers, we don't have the utilities or the weapons we want, and then we just get wiped by a team. And this is a great example of just small individual things and decisions that end up creating a different cadence for your gameplay. It's worth thinking about the entirety of your game as a flow in terms of the timing, in terms of getting your weapons quickly, getting your perks, and getting everything you need to stay ahead of the game as opposed to being one step behind. And because we didn't do those things, we end up getting taken out by a squad who was ahead of the curve, had everything they needed, and were confident enough to straight up push us.
Don't push down.
Yeah, I'm not. Need a rotation. I'm gonna have to play it. Playing.
Play, dude. Just keep getting those knocks.
Didn't get a finish. She's gonna be selfing inside.
Down one.
Covering stairs again.
Squad right.
It's pulled away from us. We should go early. Get up the zip.
Yep. Yeah, I'm in seal up and then we'll go.
Shots right, shots right, shots right.
Down two. Down two.
I've got back away.
Yeah, sorry. Down two below me. I've had golden. I've got a golden gassy. They both self-feed.
I can actually get in the roof and parachute up. We'll split them in a Jeff. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're good, mate. Don't worry. I've got golden gassy. Don't worry about me. 2v2, dude.
They're under me right now.
Got any plates, mate?
Yeah. 3 stack on the
just-
stairs.
These on the roof. I might be able to get it. 1 second. Might have to place.
One's pushing close. One's pushing close. He's gonna be on the staircase any second now.
No. Shite, bro.
Unlucky.
This next clip shows how some compounding individual errors and some bad decision making led to a really unfortunate situation where we're beaten by circumstance. Now, in Warzone 2, you need all of your squad to be alive ideally to give you the best odds of finishing in the final circle and winning the game. And taking any losses prior to that kind of situation is not a good idea. It puts you at a major disadvantage, and if you're out hunting for buy stations or hunting for a revive for your teammate, you end up being in this really tumultuous situation where you're catching up with the gameplay, you're down a member or two, and you're the person who's now at risk because you've gone to buy a friendly back, especially in the late game when the buy stations are limited. The positional idea of going for the TV tower here was good, because even if we had to fight for the position, it was the obvious power play for this circle, and very defendable with very few ways to actually get up to it. But there are a handful of individual errors here that just make things substantially worse for us heading into this final zone, where we're eventually beaten by a squad who simply has better utility than us in an airstrike and a cluster strike. The first major error was my own. Now, I had the ability to run away from the TV station guy, but I opted to end up plating instead, which ultimately was a bad idea, because not only did one of them end up rushing me, but the TV station guy still had an angle on me, and if I'd simply used the smoke cover as I had originally intended, I could have gotten away from those opponents without dying. Now, because of my individual error, I called upon Orion to come into the play and try and counteract what was going on with me to give me an optional chance to live, and ended up basically compromising him as well. He did the right thing by trying to protect his teammate and tried to keep me alive, but ultimately my failure meant that he had to make his own kind of individual error by coming for me, and then ultimately we're 2 men down. We finally end up getting the power play position on top of TV station, but things don't really end well from this point. Now, with 3 of us alive, we have really good odds of winning this final circle, especially having the height and power position to rotate to wherever we please. The first few errors meant that we didn't have the full strength squad, and unfortunately Sprat ends up making an individual error when he should have just jumped off of the roof, ends up plating, gets airstriked, and gets downed on top of TV station as the gas is closing, putting us at a 2-man situation instead of a 3-man situation, and myself in my own situation putting us at a 3-man situation instead of a 4-man situation. So our odds have dramatically dropped, even though we have a pretty good position. What there is to learn about the failures we made in this game is that when you start losing players and you start getting at disadvantages in terms of numbers, you end up being a victim of circumstance. The zone pulls away pretty drastically, and me and Jaff make some good plays to get out ahead of the zone, get into good positions, and even take a rooftop that could win the final zone in a 2v2 scenario, but we've been constantly chasing the flow of the gameplay because of the revives, because of losing players, we don't have great resources, we don't have utilities, this team has a cluster and an airstrike, and they just overwhelm us in the end, and we end up being a victim of the circumstances that we partially created. Hopefully you guys found this video interesting, and if you do, drop a like. This channel is filled with quick tips on our YouTube shorts. We stream every single day from around about 9 or 10 AM UK time, and we have videos like this. So subscribe for more content, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one.